Alright, so this is number 3 in regards to man's best friend, the dog. But how does God feel about the dog? Does he consider the dog to be a loyal servant or an unclean animal? Obviously, we cannot eat dogs, so God obviously considers a dog to be an unclean animal. But there is a deeper meaning to the word dog and how the word dog is being referenced by God in the Bible. Who do you suppose God is speaking of when he mentions the word dog? Let's go ahead and read Matthew chapter 7 verse 6. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before the swine, lest they trample them under their feet, and turn again to rend you. Turn again and rend you. Okay, so holy, remember that holy is means a separate people, means that you are separated. So do not give the separated people, don't go around the dogs, okay? Just stay away from them. Jeremiah chapter 15 verse 3, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. Isaiah chapter 56 verse 11, yea, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his gain from his quarter. Isaiah 56:10, his watchmen are blind, they are all ignorant, they are all dumb dogs, they cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Psalm 68:23, that thy foot may be dipped in the blood of thine enemies, and the tongue of thy dogs in the same. Psalms 22:16, for dogs have compassed me, the assembly of the wicked have enclosed me, they pierce my hands and my feet. What is so special about Psalms chapter 22 verse 16? Let's go ahead and go to George Lamsa to find out, okay? Okay, I'm going to be using the Old Testament Light, written by George Lamsa, and I am on page 476, and I will be reading from Vicious Men. Let's go ahead and read Psalms 22 verse 16 all over again. For dogs have compassed me, the assembly of the wicked have enclosed me, they pierced my hands and my feet. Let's go ahead and read this together. The word translated dogs in the King James Version is used metaphorically, meaning vicious men or oppressors. See, for instance, verse 20. Deliver my soul from the sword, my only one, from the hand of the vicious dog. In the East, the shepherd's dogs are very vicious. They fight for the sheep against the wolves and bears. They devour strangers who dare to approach the flock. Wicked and vicious men and gossip mongers are often called dogs. Paul, in his epistle to the Philippians, exhorts the Christians to beware of dogs, that is, to beware of vicious men, those who assassinate others by means of destructive gossip. Philippians chapter 3 verse 2, which I just read earlier. Western commentators who do not understand the metaphor believe the Easterners hate dogs. Dogs are loved by the shepherds and by the sheep owners, but in the East, dogs stay with the sheep. They are not kept in houses. Okay, so that's one interpretation made by George Lamsa. I will read another one, but right now let's go ahead and go to the Blue Letter Bible meaning. So when we go to the Strong's, let's go ahead and go here for a second. So we see that the word dogs is H3611. I have not checked to see if any other Strong's definitions are changed with the words dogs. I'm sure that there's other definitions, but I just am going by what is offered to me through the Blue Letter Bible. And we can see that it is literally a dog, okay, but we know based on the definitions offered by George Lamsa that it is figuratively. So figuratively, it is referred to contempt or abasement of pagan sacrifice of male cult prostitute. But this is interesting right here when we go into the Gesenius lexicon. We can actually see a little bit deeper meaning, okay? Let's go ahead and read down here. As a dog is also an unclean and despised animal, animal, so by way of reproach, anyone is called a dog. 2 Kings 8:13, a dead dog. 1 Samuel 24:15, 2 Samuel 9:8, 16:9, a dog's head. 2 Samuel 3:8. Just as in the East in the present day, Christians are called dogs by the Mohammedan rabble. Also, because of the shameless of dogs, this name is given to Scorta virilia. And I just want people to see that they're not looked at in a good light, unfortunately. And so let's go ahead and we will look at one more definition or example of how dogs are looked at by George Lamsa. And this book is entitled Gospel Light. We quoted from this book once before. And let me go ahead and go to page 253. 253, dogs despised. But Jesus said unto her, let the children first be filled, for it is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it unto the dogs. And she answered and said unto him, yes, Lord, yet the dogs under the table eat of the children's crumbs. And that, excuse me, is a quote from Mark 7:27 and 28. And let's go ahead and read what Lamsa has to say about it. Dogs are liked and well treated in Europe and America, but Easterners regard them as unclean animals. Some men think they are defiled if touched by a dog. The Mohammedans accidentally touched by a dog after his prayer is defiled and must say his prayers over. Dogs are often cruelly punished and seldom fed. They roam the streets searching for food. They eat the meat from animals unlawful for men to eat, or the carcass of any animal. Easterners do not use tables. Food is served on a tray or piece of cloth, and when the tray is lifted, small pieces of bread fall. Dogs patiently watch people eating, waiting for the remaining crumbs after the tray is lifted. These crumbs are also given to beggars. Easterners feel it is a sin to throw bread to dogs because bread is sacred and dogs are an abomination, and because bread is rather scarce. No one would like to see his children hungry and his dogs well fed. In the East, members of one faith considered men of another faith as dogs because they have different beliefs that permit them to eat meat of animals unlawful for others to eat. Mohammedans look upon Christians as unclean and call them dogs. And I think I'm going to stop there. Okay. So as we can see, unfortunately, dogs are not looked upon in a very good light. People call each other dogs every single day. Of course, we have the dog star, Sirius, Canis Major. We also have dogs referred to as Canaanites, or I'm sorry, canines. And there's other things I can get into as far as like the Dog Star Sirius. But, you know, look this stuff up for yourselves, you know. When you are reading the Bible, always rightfully divide the word. Always go into the meaning of what the words are as far as the message that God is trying to tell you. Because when he says something in the Bible, when he refers to an animal or plant or even a color, even, you know, something as simple as, you know, a time or anything like that, it means something, okay? Deuteronomy 23:18, thou shalt not bring the hire of a whore or the price of a dog into the house of the Lord thy God for any vow, for even both these are abominations unto the Lord thy God. Why would God say that about a dog? What does it mean? What do the dogs mean? What does it mean when when God refers to the man's best friend? Like I said, it is in regards to a vicious group of people, okay? A vicious group of people. And I'm sure that most people don't know what I mean, but if you are going to be studying the Word of God and you don't know who your enemy is, you will never be able to fight the battle that is mentioned in Genesis 3:15, okay? So, let me go ahead and, I think I'm going to do a number 4, only because I really would like to get into NIMROD a little bit more. And so let me go ahead and stop it here, and we'll go ahead and work on number 4.